Hey guys, welcome back. So it has been just over 6 months now in Toronto, and I wanted to make a video just to catch up with you guys, let you know what's been happening. And I want to start with giving a shout out to a really good friend of mine now. His name's Luke Smith. He's got another channel called Market Mania Canada, and he shared this location with me, which I'm really grateful for, and it's absolutely beautiful. Now I've stepped away from the lake because it's quite noisy and it's a little rough. I mean, you can see it in the distance there. It's just a little rough today, so I couldn't unfortunately make a video right by the water. But he actually told me about this place, which is near the dunes, which is where I'm standing right now, and you can see it behind me, and it's absolutely beautiful out here. And he was here almost 3 years ago now, a friend of mine, and he's moved on to Alberta, so he shared this location with me, and I wanted to make the effort to come out here. And I can see exactly why he used to come out here, because it's absolutely beautiful. Fortunately the sun's just come out, and guys, it's been 6 months, you know. It's like the summer's just started and someone just flicked a switch and it went from winter straight into summer. There's absolutely no spring. It doesn't feel like any springtime. It just went from, you know, sort of hat and a jacket weather straight into t-shirt weather, and we've had days of 29 degrees, and it's you know, it's just coming to the end of May. 17 degrees right now, so it's tolerable. So guys, it's been 6 months already, you know, and they've gone so quick here in Canada. You know, the first 2 months were great, and then Omicron came. It was quite challenging being isolated, and then, you know, on top of that, I was with an employer that wasn't, you know, it wasn't the right fit, let's say. And then it was minus 25 outside, and it was dark, and it was a really challenging time, but we got through it. And you know, with March you get much brighter days. Now, I don't know what most people say, but the truth is summer starts really around mid-May, I would say. Anything before that, you're still going to have a cold feeling in the wind. But right now in Toronto, the job market's pretty amazing. You know, we've been here for 6 months, and we've both changed jobs in that time, and I feel like we're finally in a routine now. We're finally in some sort of a rhythm where we might try and save some money in this city. You know, staying downtown is, you know, it's a big question mark. Are we going to stay? Are we going to go? The lease is up in December, and we've got decisions to make. You know, at the moment we have to pay for parking in the basement garage, which isn't ideal. We've only got one vehicle at the minute, and we don't have a balcony. There's no garden. You know, so the summer times I can feel like we're just going to spend out, you know, the majority of the time, which isn't ideal, because you end up spending money every time you're out. But you know, we want to enjoy the summertime. The winters are harsh, they're brutal. So we're really questioning if we're going to stay in that apartment. You know, I feel like, you know, we've both got jobs that are slightly up north now, past North York, you know. So really, I really like the neighbourhoods up and around. When you go past North York, you get to Woodbridge and Vaughan, and you get all of these, you get a lot of space, and it's actually really nice out there, and that's what I really love. You know, for me, that's where Canada starts. It's places like this. It's the openness and the space, and that's one of my favourite things here. Is just having so much freedom, space. In this whole 1 hour walk that I've done along this beach, I've seen one person, maybe two. I've met a lot of people in these 6 months, made some friends, which is nice. You know, the first few months you're kind of scrambling, and especially with lockdown and Omicron and all this stuff, like, it was so difficult to connect with people. It seems like there's loads of new people coming now. The lockdown's lifted, so all of the students are finally arriving that can be here in physical and not taking their courses online, which they've paid thousands for. And I've met so many new people just come in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and going straight into jobs and working and hustling and grafting. And you know, I have a lot of respect for some of these people that I've met, the immigrants that are coming from countries all over and leaving their towns and villages which they come from, and I have a lot of respect for those people, because you speak to them and, you know, despite the chaos that's you know, in the housing market or jobs or any of that stuff that's going on in all sorts of countries now, that, you know, they're sticking to their dream to, you know, aspire and to come out to places like this and countries like this and make it for themselves. You know, some of these guys are just students, the first time, they're the eldest sibling out of their family that have left the house for the first time, and, you know, coming from India and coming from China, you know, Korea, all sorts of countries that these guys are coming from, and they're leaving everything that they know, and they've jumped on that plane on their own and made the voyage out here, and they're determined to make a success out of it. You know, they're studying, they're straight into jobs. And they're not terrible jobs, you know, it's not cleaning floors and stuff, you know, they're taking on all the retail jobs, the customer service jobs, you know, the waiting staff jobs at restaurants, and they're making the best of it, and you know, I've got nothing but admiration for these people. It's excellent what they're doing, and so many people in the GTA have 3 jobs. It's not even an exaggeration. 2 jobs and studying, 3 jobs, you know, two full-time jobs. I know people working 80 hours a week at 2 full-time jobs. It's intense, it's insane, but it's, you know, I think people take it onto themselves to do too much almost. So many people out here just seem to work around the clock. And you know, like I said, those immigrants, they've all come and they've really stepped up to that level, and they're working around the clock too. Even I've considered it working around the clock, but it just seems to be like that in the first few years or the first few months that you're here, that you just need, you know, you spend so much, and people spend so much coming to this country, and it's not cheap when you get here. It's been interesting, you know, making friends and understanding what's happening with the housing market, and, you know, people working around the clock, and, you know, to afford a house. And yeah, that's, you know, the last 6 months have been such a ride. It's been such a hustle, such a graft, but I've enjoyed every minute and every second of it. I look back now and I think, wow, where have 6 months gone? And, you know, you really have to take these kind of moments where you pause for a second, you know, step away from the GTA and the big city life and come out to places like this and just reflect. I think it's important to do that sort of stuff, because I know as soon as I jump in the car, go back downtown, it's going to be the same old, and, you know, part of the rat race and what people call is that the Toronto grind really kills you, you know. So yeah, it's been an interesting 6 months. You know, it's amazing that I've made it out here. I remember all of the paperwork and everything that we were going through, and all the waiting around during lockdown and pandemics and everything else, and now we finally made it, and 6 months have passed us by. What we're trying to do is the CEC class to get the PR. That's kind of our focus now. Is so the main thing with the CEC is that we're trying to complete 12 months with a Canadian employer. So once we've done those 12 months, you get a set of bonus points, if you will. We'll do an English language test and all of that stuff, and, you know, once we've worked towards getting that PR, then I feel like we will have some more decisions to make at that point. You know, do we stay, do we go, is there another location that's better for us? You know, how far do we want to be away from Europe and England where our families are? Would we ever consider going back? I don't know. It's such an interesting time, because all you stay focused is on, you know, your jobs and PRs, and then, you know, once that's done, then you have other decisions to make, and there's a lot more coming on the horizon. But, you know, we try and stay focused on what's in front of us. If you sort of start thinking about everything all at once, you get a bit flustered, I guess. And, you know, 90% of people I've met in Canada are all chasing a PR. I feel like this is a lot of the stuff that, you know, the newcomers and the immigrants, you know, they really begin to learn and understand after 6 months of being here. On the flip side, you know, downtown's opening up. There's a lot of fun to be had. It's extremely pricey, which actually takes a lot of the fun out of it, to be honest. Let's be real. 2 people going out for food and drinks, you know, you're looking at anywhere from 100 upwards, you know, 200. We've just about found places that are, you know, $70–80 for a bit of food and and a few drinks, maybe in like a pub setting rather than a restaurant setting. It's extremely expensive downtown, and this is probably another one of the reasons, you know, why we might end up moving on. Finding a good employer really is, you know, I would say to so many people that I feel thinking of coming is so important, because when you come, and especially if you land when winter's about to start, and you don't have an employer that you're comfortable with, it's going to make life so much more difficult. It's going to make your weekend stressful, you know, that what they call Sunday night blues for Monday morning's work. You really don't want to live like that. You want a job where you're confident and you know you've supported. There's so much to deal with when you come. Now, you don't want to be adding work stress on top of everything else. You actually want to be trying to enjoy your environment, but then also enjoy your job. You know, sort of a thing where you leave work at work and you can actually enjoy the rest of your time in Canada and not think about things too much. It's really about giving yourself a solid foundation when you come. Now, when we came, so many things we couldn't prepare for. We couldn't prepare for another lockdown. We couldn't prepare for Omicron. We couldn't prepare for job losses or job changes. But you really have to trust your gut and keep going and stay focused. And things do prevail eventually. And so what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm just going to take you down to where I've been walking along this beautiful beach. It's actually, I've driven north sort of 1.5 hours from Toronto, gone past Barrie, up to one of the big lakes here. And it's absolutely beautiful here, but as you can probably tell, the wind is picking up as I'm getting closer, so I'm probably going to have to talk a bit louder, but I definitely want to show you guys where I've been spending my day off, and some of the amazing things you can do out here in Toronto, where you can just take the car and get out of the city. City life's the same, you know, London, New York, Toronto, they're all very similar, but these are some of the perks, you know, when you get out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick the camera around. There's this beautiful setting ahead of us, which is this blue coloured, this green coloured lake with this beach, and I've never seen stuff like this, you know. I mean, I've seen beautiful lakes, but I've never seen it with a beach setting. Beautiful blue skies. These are some of the things I love about Canada, is the open spaces, the big roads, the big blue skies, the colours. It's just stuff that you'd never see back at home. I ideally wanted to make a video here, but I just feel like I'd be shouting the whole time with all the background noise. I came here a few weeks ago, like I said, when we went to visit Blue Mountain, and this was quiet and flat. And today I came and it feels like I'm walking along a seaside rather than a lake. But it's pretty beautiful. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I've got a 1 hour walk to go back along the beach, but you know, on a day like this, I'm really not complaining. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll give you a few more videos and a few more updates in times to come. Take you on some of the adventures that we plan to go on. You know, we're going to plan to drive to Montreal, drive to New York City, because the weather's great now and it brings opportunities. And I'll take you guys along with me. Thanks for watching, and thanks Luke for this great, amazing location. See you guys soon.